Greetings and welcome to another installment of Pinball Stories. This is Mike, and in this series, I'm just talking about some of the machines that are in my collection or that I've crossed paths with, and where they came from, and if there's any interesting stories behind them. And today I'm going to talk about, obviously, Twilight Zone. This is a very special pinball machine to me because of the way I acquired it and because of the condition that it's in. Um, this was a game that really kind of ignited my obsession with collecting pinball machines. Was coming across this game, and it's a bit dusty. So um, things have been really quiet around here at the Pin Church because of the coronavirus thing. So I'll chat and I'll wipe the dust off of this. Nobody's been in here in weeks, aside from the concerts that we've been doing. And if you guys want to find out more about those concerts, go to pinchurch.com or YouTube/pinchurch, PINCHURCH. That's the space that most of these games are in. And so this is obviously, I guess it's a 1993 or 91, I can't ever remember, Twilight Zone. This is probably one of Pat Lawler's most famous games. It's also one of the highest rated pinball machines of all time. It's pretty beloved by the pinball community, and there's a lot of reasons for it. And I could talk about the special features of the game and all of that. But I'm going to talk about how I picked this game up first. So this was, I think, maybe like the third or fourth game in my collection, or the fourth or fifth. But it was the first 5 games or so. Now I have well over 100 machines. This is one of the very early ones, and I got this game like I got a lot of games, which was off of a lead from Craigslist. So somebody listed this game, and it was in a nearby state, and they didn't put a whole lot of information on it. And of course, I knew it was a pretty valuable game. And, this is one of those games that's on everybody's short list. I mean, if a Twilight Zone shows up, people are going to stampede to it. So I managed to be the first person to get to go look at the game. And an interesting story behind this game. I get there, and the owner is basically this woman, and she said it used to belong to her ex-husband, and he was an operator, and he hated the game or whatever, and so she loved the game, so she got it in their divorce thing. So she took this game as part of her divorce separation thing, and it basically had been sitting in her front room of her house for years, largely unplayed. Now, when I hear, this came from an operator, you expect something to be just completely trashed, right? This game, I was looking at it, and I mean, just take a look at the front. It looks brand new. There's a little bit of wear. I mean, there's a little bit of fading in some of the colors if you look on the side. Let me pull over here. You can kind of see. So this red is one of the things that fades the most. On one side, the red's pretty faded. But other than that, the game looked pretty beautiful. Now, it didn't start up. She turned the power on and nothing happened. I get over there and I'm like, well, can we see it boot up? And she's, well, Doug, well, I turn it on, nothing happens, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, do you have the keys to it? And she's like, no, I don't have the keys to it. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't even know if any of the boards are in the game. Obviously I could see the DMD was there, but I couldn't see if there was any boards in the machine or whether this thing had been cannibalized. So I kind of said, I'd be taking a chance on this game because I can't tell if there's any boards in there and what condition they're in. So, I think I forget exactly what she wanted for the game, but I think I got it off of her for $2,500, believe it or not. And this was early on, and many years ago, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Although I was still taking a chance because I had no idea if any of the boards were in there. But I felt pretty good. I gave her the $2,500 and I threw this thing in my vehicle, brought it back home, drilled it out, found out the game was indeed complete. A few wiggled connectors here and there, and it booted up. Now, it did have some problems, and some of my earliest videos on PinballHelp were of me working on this game, and I learned a lot of lessons about what to do and what not to do to fix those reset issues. In the early days, I read other people talking about, replacing all the components on the power driver board. So that's what I did, and it worked, and so I did a video about it. But there's more often than not, the reset issues are the result of the powertrain connectivity problems with the connectors. Anyway, this game was spectacular. Now, I've put some LEDs in it, and these are early LEDs, so they're not, cut some lights off. They're not super bright, but this game definitely has a bit of an old look to it. You can still see there's a lot of incandescence in different spots, too. I put LEDs in the inserts, but these are pretty old LEDs. If I replaced them with the modern 2 LED ones like Comet has, this game would pop even more. So it really does pretty much look vintage. It looks and it plays like it just came off the assembly line. I've also put Cliffy protectors on all of the scoops and stuff, but I will say that there's not a scratch of wear anywhere. I just wanted to protect it. I actually did take some pictures of this before I put the Cliffies up. But you can see in certain spots, like if we look right here in the exit to the this upper ramp, let me see if I can get that. It might be too dark to zoom in on it. So let me see if I can get it. You can, if we can get in tight enough, you might be able to see. I guess not. But one way to check is where the ball falls off of the upper play field. You see wear there, but anywhere. There's no wear hardly anywhere. The game is just magnificent. Just absolutely beautiful. You can look in the ball trough, and it's sweet. The game plays like a dream. It's almost all original. I think I may have replaced the clock board, or maybe not, because I guess there's still incandescence, but I have a replacement clock board. So this game, absolutely gorgeous game. I don't know what the going rate for these are now, but over the years, whenever I've gotten in a financial bind, this is one of the games that I've toyed with selling. And there's a lot of stories about people that sell games like this and then regret it. And I knew that was going to be exactly, if I ever sold this game, I was going to regret it. So ironically, what happens is come property tax time, when I get hit with this big tax bill and I didn't have enough cash flow, I'd post this for sale, and I'd ask for about $7,000, which is what I think is a good fair market value for this. And I get a few people interested, but sometimes they were always a little bit, difficult. They wanted a bazillion pictures, and I already did a bunch of pictures and stuff. And so I would just, just became too much of a hassle. And in the time I was negotiating, I would get money from another source, and I could pay my tax bills. So I never ended up selling it. I've just, it's one of those things where I've come really close a couple of times, and then just don't. So I still have it. This is really, I think, one of the best condition, almost all original Twilight Zones there is out there. It's, it's really, really beautiful, and it plays really well, and it's super snappy. And from what I understand, the owner never operated this game. I know, and this is funny, I would really consider this a home use only game, although everybody says that. But there is no sign anywhere. There's no sign of any kind of lockdown bar. There's no sign of any wear. There's no sign of any extensive play. I think what happened was the operator got this for his wife, and they never put it on location, and it certainly shows. It's just an absolutely beautiful game. There's no wear on the plugs for the GI in the game or anything like that. So really one of the best scores that I've had. And everybody's got these stories, and this is one of them. And it's a great game. It's tons of fun, packed with so many neat toys. And if you haven't had a chance to play Twilight Zone, what's wrong with you? It's everywhere. It's one of the highest production games ever made. and highly regarded, and get a chance to play more of it and appreciate it. Right. So there you go for this installment of Pinball Stories. And thanks for watching. And for more, visit pinballhelp.com. And hope everybody is staying safe during the coronavirus thing. And we'll see each other soon.